I'm Brickroad, and I owe Sonic Adventure 2 a debt of gratitude. If you watched my LP of Sonic Generations, you know that the last boss of that game was pretty much the most horrible last boss of all time. Like, it was absolutely just stunningly bad in the design of it, and it took me forever to fight the boss in the video, and I just spent the whole time just ragging on it, just picking it apart, just mockery after creative insult. I was like on fire picking on that boss. But Sonic Adventure 2 has taught me to appreciate what I had, and now my opinion of the final boss in Sonic Generations has improved dramatically, because the last level and the last boss in Sonic Adventure 2 is the absolute nadir of Sonic gameplay. It simply can't get worse than this level and this boss. Here's the story. I sat down to record it. I was going to do the last story blind, and after 2 hours I was just screaming into the microphone because the level was so terrible and long and had no checkpoints, and every time you died at the end of it you had to start over all the way at the beginning. And after 2 hours of this, I realized I'm no longer getting usable video. Whatever this is, if I put this video on YouTube, it's gonna end up on somebody's hate channel, and it'll be like, this is how Brickroad plays video games, and it's not what I want to put on the internet. So I did the mature thing. I took that video, I junked it. I deleted it, and then I immediately emptied my recycle bin. That's how much I wanted it off my goddamn computer. But I sat down, and it took another 2 to 2.5 hours to push my way through the end of this game. You have to memorize this last level, and you have to memorize the stupid boss fights, and then the last boss fight is, oh, you'll see, we're gonna get there today, you guys. So I'm well practiced at the game now. This is no longer a blind LP. I have played the last level. I know exactly what to do, and I still might fail because it's the level of BS we're dealing with here, but I will do my level best to stay sane and perky throughout this ordeal. So, I do owe Sonic Adventure 2 a debt of gratitude, and I owe Sonic Generations an apology for making fun of that last boss fight, the Time Eater or whatever it was, because I just did not know. I'm sorry, I just did not know how bad it truly got. I was on Twitter the other day, and I just made a Twitter post like, this boss fight in this last level is so bad, and then somebody was like, hey, but that one level in the game is good. And I'm like, well, yeah, but they put that one level in Sonic Generations. That's the one with the cool song where you're skiing down the road.
What is this?
So that's kind of the final opinion I have on Sonic Adventure 2, is that they excised the best part of this game and put it into a much better game.
I don't quite know what happened or what went wrong. Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life?
Drinking orange Fanta today, because for some reason Peanut bought orange Fanta at the grocery store instead of Pepsi. I don't need to make any orange Fanta jokes. I already made them all in the videos that I junked, that I recorded yesterday, so we can just get that out of the way now. For some reason I've got orange Fanta. It must have been on sale, but maybe that contributed to my poor mood in Sonic yesterday, that I didn't have any ice cold delicious Pepsi to drink. There are a lot of games, in my opinion, that get better the more you learn about them, the more you play them. It doesn't matter how bad the game is, really. If you force your way through it and kind of learn what the game expects of you and go through its motions on its terms, you can eke out a little bit of fun at it. I think I've made this comparison earlier in this LP, but the best example of that game that I can think of is Mega Man X6, which is a bad game by any metric you care to use, but if you play X6 a few times and play with the different difficulty levels and figure out the order you have to go through the stages and how to use all the stuff, and the game is worth a little bit of fun. I could play X6 in right now and get a little bit of enjoyment out of it for a couple of hours. So that's kind of the level I'm hoping I appreciate Sonic Adventure 2 on today. Like, I hope, now that I know how to not die constantly in the last level, and how to actually... This is the longest cutscene in the universe, by the way. This is nonsense. This goes on forever. But the gist is that Robotnik's grandpa was like a real evil guy, not like a fake evil guy like Robotnik is, and he built a thing that's going to destroy the thing, and now all the good guys and bad guys have to join forces to stop the thing from thinging all over the thing.
That should be you, right? We have to stop the space colony now.
I forgot what I was talking about. Mega Man X6 for some reason. I could probably do an LP of Mega Man X6 and just point out, and the whole thing would just be, this part of the game is crap, but it's okay because, and then list the reasons why that part of that level or whatever is agreeable in some way. I learned how to play Mega Man X6 back when the game first came out. It was like one of the last PlayStation games I bought. Like, I think that game came out after everybody had already bought a PS2. But I bought it at a time when I did not know to stop playing bad games. Does that make sense? Like, I bought the game, and I bought it, I have to finish it now, and it's Mega Man, so it can't be bad. That was, like, my mindset at the time. I was, like, 20 years old. I was just a dumb kid. I didn't know how the world worked. Nowadays, I stop playing games after I stop enjoying them. That's my new rule. It's a lot easier now than it was then, though, because back then you couldn't buy a new game for less than $40, you know? If you bought a PlayStation game, that was $40. It's what it costs. Nowadays, you go on Steam, you find games on sale for like $6. You play it for an hour, you're like, okay, I got what I'm going to get out of it, and then that's all there is to it. It's a lot easier to put down games when you're done with them now than it was then. You don't have to justify to yourself, I spent half a paycheck on this game. I had better enjoy it. Here's the gimmick of this level. It's one level, but it has 5 levels inside of it. I need to kill this guy here. I learned to do the tail sections like super slow because otherwise you die really easily. But the game does not have checkpoints in between the various levels. Like if I finish the Tails level, the second level is a Robotnik level, and if I die there, I have to start back over with Tails. The other gimmick is all the characters have these little clocks that they can attack that freeze things in place, and that's the whole gimmick of the level. We're going to see a lot of that going forward. And they freeze everything. Like, if I had come into this room too quickly while the clock thing was still in effect, I would have walked forward, and then all those robots would have just dropped on top of me, and I would have taken damage. So we have that to deal with. Yeah, so my problem with the level wasn't that it's a bad level. It's like the Tails section and the Robotnik section, pretty fun. Even the Rouge section is pretty fun. It's just that it's total BS to me that I'm tired of playing the first part of a level 30 times to get good at the third part of the level. You'll see what I mean as we go a little further here. This is kind of a leap of faith here. There might be a better way to do this, I don't know, but we're going to just go down here, destroy both of those, and then you can get in the door. I don't know if there's a nicer way to do that that doesn't involve you doing a Hail Mary jump over a pit, but I haven't actually died in that pit, so I think I'm doing it correctly. Oh, there's one of the robots just fell out of the sky on top of me. So there's another clock in this room. So if you're watching this and you're like, that level doesn't look too bad, you have to understand my mindset yesterday was not, I don't like this Tails level, it was, I'm sick of playing this Tails level for the 30th time. Because I did, I played all the way through the Tails level and completed it, and got to the Robotnik level, and, oh, I gotta go up this crusher, actually. So that way for it to fall again. And it's just every time I died on the Robotnik level, you gotta start over the Tails level. You only get 4 lives, and all the characters share lives. Kill all these guys. Whereas every single other level in the game was like an individual level, you know what I mean? It's like, there was a Sonic level, and if you beat it, you went to the next level, which was a Tails level. And then if you died on the Tails level, you started at the beginning of the Tails level. That's how I feel the last story should have been structured. I just want to pause here for a minute. Look at this BS camera angle they start you at. Look at this. I have to walk forward, but I have no idea what's going to be forward. Just one ring in front of me. I can't spin the camera here to see what I'm walking towards. And what am I walking towards? Oh, bad guys. That was worth some damage the first time I came through here. And then there's all these guys in this room. So the Robotnik part of the level is basically just an extension of the Tails level. It just takes the idea of those clocks and uses them in a couple different ways. I don't think they're actually recovering territory, but it's basically the same kind of gameplay. And like I said, I haven't been enjoying the Tails and or Eggman gameplay in this game. These guys here, I don't know a good way to fight them except to just jump and shoot a lot and hope they explode, because they can actually attack me from where they're at now. If I step forward, they can hit me with their tentacles, and I don't know. Like, I thought, oh, maybe you gotta bait the tentacle and then jump back or something, but no, that didn't seem to be working either. We gotta kill these guys one at a time as soon as they lower their shields. If you wait too long, they'll shoot you, and then it'll actually knock you off of the hook, and you'll die. That was the first time that I lost my last life in this level and had to restart his Tails, and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta restart his Tails? And I'm like, wait a minute, how many more parts of this level are there? This room here, you're supposed to pause the blocks in like a place where you can actually jump on them. I think that's totally foolish, considering you can just watch how I do this room. Because you can stand on this little red, on the little red parts in between the blocks. That's the way I do it, and then you just gotta wait for this block to come up and just ignore the clock power up altogether. That took me like 8 tries to figure out. I did that room the hard way a lot before I got it the easy way. Whoops, took some damage there because I took too long in that room. If you go through that room too fast, though, like the guys will start spawning on top of you if your clock runs out. This is a fake out. This is fun because the first time I did this room, I was like, okay, I'll jump to the platform and jump to the door. But if you jump to the platform, it drops underneath you and you go down this like long laser tunnel. But the hilarious thing is the first time I did it, I missed the platform entirely anyway and dropped down the laser tunnel. So I thought maybe there's 2 routes to go in this level. But no, that door is just a total red herring. You can't actually do anything with it. And there's another clock there that you're supposed to hit, but again, I'm just going to ignore it. And then there's a health pack right down here, but getting onto this platform without dying is actually a lot more difficult than it looks like it needs to be, because you have to jump to it when it's down below you. You can't spin the camera, and oh, there's the platform. As soon as you take a step, camera spins. So, but there is a full health pack there, which is nice, because I usually take a lot of health dropping down that laser tunnel. But you know, I forgot to kill these 2 guys before grabbing the health pack. Now if I take damage here, I don't have a way to replenish it. I'm just going to jump and shoot a lot. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to just hammer the buttons quite a bit. If I inch forward, they'll be able to attack me. And these guys are just taking forever. What's going on, guys? See that? Took damage. I went forward to try to bait their attack. Took damage. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Did it anyway. Got impatient. This room, you can't skip the blocks. You actually have to use the blocks in the way they're supposed to be used. Fortunately, though, Eggman doesn't have robots dropping down on top of him from the door. So, after 3 tries at this level, I got this far. I lost all my lives on the Eggman section a couple times, just learning how the various pieces moved. Okay, trial and error is fine, I guess.